welcome in. It is Going for Two. Once again, Shaylin's...
Who?
Shaylin.
Shaylin?
I'm making up names. It's when the Steelers lose and the Titans lose in the same week.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. I'm
Yeah,
foreshadowing.
Shane's not here, so yes, that can only mean one
We're
thing.
foreshadowing
Yes.
for the Steelers losing.
The Steelers will
And
lose.
there will be a correction on our social media. We are in week 8.
Yes.
We're not in week 7.
No.
But hey, here we are. So according to our producer's fault, me and Kalen were the dummies last week and with the wrong weekend.
No, I'm going to pawn that on Shane. He told me what week to put in there. I was just doing it really fast. You know me, I get flustered before shows when I'm running the bit. But how was your weekend personally, aside from football and everything? You have a good weekend?
My weekend was great.
I'm still wearing shorts, man, and it's the 3rd week of October. Actually, the 4th week of October.
Yeah, we're in the last weekend of October. We are almost in November, and you're rocking. And we're
It's
gonna be
not
wearing
that it's
shorts.
super warm out, but it's one of those times that, like, celebrate it as long as you can, right?
Yeah, I think there's that one guy who wears shorts year round. Well, usually they're 400 pounds. So are you just trying to grow into that role?
I'm getting there. Little by little. One chicken wang at a time.
But yeah, no, my weekend was good. Saturday, Notre Dame handled their business.
Yeah.
That makes me always happy.
Man, I saw a really funny meme, actually. It said, all these people that fought all year long for getting Navy ranked just because they knew that that Notre Dame would use it as a stepping stone to the playoffs.
The best thing that's happening for Notre Dame football is that Texas A&M keeps winning.
Yeah.
Because it is our only ranked opponent right now.
Yeah, it's going to help you out a lot.
So it's helping us a lot. But...
Navy was ranked, right? They were 24.
So what I found out is, though, it doesn't matter what they were ranked when you play them. It's what they're ranked at the end of the season.
Oh, interesting.
I found that out a year ago. So I was like, man, we're only 6 ranked opponents. And I was like, nope, we only had 2 because they all got knocked out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as far as personally, my football team, the Okanagan Sun out in Kelowna, we won our game for the national semifinals. We're going to the national championship.
Congratulations, my man.
That is a big deal for us.
Yeah.
We fell short last year, and to be honest, and it's going to hope my guys don't take this the wrong way, I think we had a much more talented roster last year, but there's something about this roster that keeps on winning.
Well, it's the ones that experienced the loss, I bet, right? That are driven to try and get it now.
So we won a national championship in 22. Mm-hmm. I do believe that our roster in 23 was better than both of those teams. But yeah, we're 1 game away, so they're flying actually into my neck of the woods. They're coming to Windsor now. And anybody who knows when I coach here in London, my love for the St. Clair Saints is
that what the name of the
deep.
team is? The St. Clair Saints?
Yeah, they're no longer the Fretmen.
Okay.
They associated with the university or the college there.
So in your league, you've got the Okanagan Sun out west, or obviously, as you mentioned, a bit of a powerhouse, right? In this area, who are the powerhouses?
So, and I'm not going to toot my own horn. It's going to sound like that I was. When I was with the London Beefeaters, we went back-to-back conference champions.
So Beefs are in this
in the Ontario
league.
conference,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So there's 3 conferences. We have Ontario, the Prairies, and British Columbia.
Okay.
And so how it works is they rotate who hosts the national championship every year. So this year Ontario's hosting, so they get an automatic bid. Whoever wins Ontario gets a bid to the national. The other 2 play in the semifinal, and you can figure out the rest.
Yeah.
And they rotate it every year. So that's kind of where it's at. And that we have the national championship November 9th. So
How
2
you feeling?
weeks. It's good. That Winds team has a phenomenal offense. They score a lot of points.
Yeah.
That being said, our defense is lights out. We also have the best player in the whole country.
You don't want to name drop him or what?
Oh, I will. Ilion Noah,
okay.
Running back. He came from Boise State.
Okay.
So we do have the perk of having a Division I running back.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and dunk on any other kid that's from Canada because that's not fair. But there's a reason there's guys that go to Division I. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
There's something different about that first step, and it's something you can't teach. I saw him once, and I was like, I wouldn't say he's the fastest guy, but he gets from the line of scrimmage to a 5-yard gain really fast.
He's not but he's our fastest guy.
He's our fastest guy. And to put in perspective of how good of a football player he was, if you could say, if I tell you this guy broke this guy's record, you wouldn't believe me.
Okay.
He broke Reggie Bush's California State rushing record for
Wow.
career yards.
That's pretty cool, man.
And now he's playing for us.
That's wicked.
So shout out to our guys that recruit for us.
Is this his first year?
Second year. He came to us halfway through last year.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, last year's team, I think it was more talented, but just we couldn't put it together. And we lost to a very good team in the conference championship last year.
Okay.
But yeah, I know. I'm pretty excited. It gets to be at our yard too. Well, I shouldn't say our yard because I'd be back in Kelowna.
Yeah.
I get to drive down to Windsor. I'm actually going to take a couple recruits with me to go down there and meet the staff and experience a national championship game. Got a couple kids from London that we're going to take out there. I won't name drop them because they have not signed yet.
Okay.
But there are some kids that
They're out there just for a looky-loo.
Yeah, we're going to show them a good time and show them what winning looks like.
Wicked. That's awesome. Well, I had a good weekend as well. My birthday was on Saturday. Another trip around the sun. 37 years old here, right? So that was a good time. What's that?
Yeah, happy birthday, Caleb.
Thank you. And then Sunday, I got to a little, Ricky was in town, so I got to see him on Friday night, which was pretty cool because his birthday's coming up too. And then Sunday, got to a little bit of me time, just away from the family outside, enjoying the outdoors. And came home to watch some decent afternoon football because I dodged my 1 o'clock game. I mean, You guys know I was supposed to go to that.
I thought you were at the game, and I was like, all I kept thinking was, oh, man.
I'll be since the trade happened with Nuck, I probably ignored 98% of the text messages that came to my phone because everybody's coming at me. The one answer I did say to everybody, and I know we're hopping right into it here. We're talking about our weekend and everything, but
we are a football show.
Yeah.
We should probably get there.
Yeah. From a fan perspective, it absolutely sucks because you know the direction that you're going. From a business perspective, it totally makes sense. Hopkins said all the right things. He did all the right things in Nashville, including right to the very end, saying that he was where God needed him to be, kind of thing.
In Kansas City is where God wanted him?
Well, here's the thing, right? He goes there and he puts out a TikTok the same fucking day, which I get it. I get players are excited, right? But the same day he says, go to bed 1-5, wake up 6-0 is one of the TikToks. And then he makes a comment to a reporter that he hasn't played any meaningful football in 2 years. And, here's my look on things. Nuck, you were brought there last year we weren't going to compete, right? That wasn't, I don't think, was the answer last year, but you were brought there because Derrick Henry and you were buddies, and Derrick talked to you, according to you guys, talked to you to come in and everything. And we had Traylon Burks, who was supposed to, have a good year until he got hurt. But you were brought there to be a mentor, to be a leader, to get some stats, but you were brought there to do something there. And it's just annoying to say that you didn't have anything, like meaningful football, I guess, maybe. But, you were there to teach some people some things and to be part of something bigger, hopefully. Wish him the best. They're already drawing coverages to him, and Kelsey ends up getting a touchdown as a result of him going there. But 2010 Thanksgiving.
Who wants to know that? I do. What happened on 2010 Thanksgiving?
Is this the one where the Titans blew out the Lions, I believe? That might have been that year.
You're asking the wrong guy. I was not that game.
Is that the year that we're referring to? Who's asking that in the chat? Shane. I'm assuming that's what he's referring to. I don't know if he remembers the 2010 Thanksgiving game. Maybe he's trying to bring up happier times for me. I appreciate that, Shane.
49-10 loss. 49-10
He says that you were there.
Yeah, the game I'd say the Titans blew out the Lions. Yeah, he's trying to bring up a happier time for me.
Hey,
that was the year
Derrick
the
Henry
Lions
did rush
almost
for
didn't win a
2,000
game.
yards once.
What's that?
Derrick Henry did rush for 2,000 yards for you.
He did.
I think he's going to do it again this year.
He probably is, and it's going to thoroughly piss me off if. And I don't know who else he's really going to compete against, but if he wins the MVP, because you know what,
he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year.
But okay, who's the MVP then?
Well, it's going to be a quarterback of somebody.
Is it? Because touchdowns are down across the board to the point now that running backs have a shot.
At the end of the day, we know the quarterbacks get it. Just call it the Quarterback of the Year award.
I agree with you, but
they're going to find someone to give it to.
This is just an example of me being a little bit of a stomp on the ground here, small market team fan here, where Derrick Henry has to pry at wins every year when he was in Tennessee doing the exact damn fucking thing that he's doing. His numbers are the exact same as they were 2 years ago. Exact same. But,
But
It is what
except
it
they're
is.
winning football games now.
Well, they were winning 2 years ago. It just
He
you
just
know,
didn't have a
last
MVP
year.
quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. So we're touching on college football still quickly. So your team did well against Navy going on. Texas does.
It's the one team I'm nervous about every year, though.
Who's that?
Navy.
Yeah. Well, you do mention that every year, which I'm surprised about because
Because we've won 7 in a row. Like, I shouldn't feel this way, but there's always that feeling like that goddamn fucking triple option.
yeah. Which has been unwell this year so far, and they've had a bit of a passing attack.
Well, that's
when I
the
say a
part
bit
that
of a
makes
passing
it scary.
attack,
Like, they're throwing the ball double digits now a game.
yeah. But you do mention that every year, and it surprises me because Notre Dame usually lines up against a couple of, or at least preseason ranked opponents,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, no, Navy. No, Navy.
Navy's one that gets me every year.
Yeah. Anything else stick out to you this weekend? We're starting to get to that point now. Well, maybe at least I am, maybe being 1-5, but we're on the other half of the season now, and we start talking about quarterback rankings and where you're looking at next year's draft and all that jazz. Did anybody stand out for you this past weekend? Is Cam Ward starting to really climb up your board?
I don't know. And this isn't a shot at Cam Ward. I don't think there's any quarterback in college football right now that I'd want to take out one. I saw rankings the other day, and like, I'm sure everybody probably thinks I think Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in college football. I just don't think there's anybody that's actually the best quarterback in college football. Like, it changes weekly. There's no one that from, like, if you're going to be my first pick overall, I want you to be the best quarterback from day one to day end of season, like national championship. Like, I don't want to have a debate.
Yeah.
You usually know who the best quarterback's going to be going into the season, and they live up to the hype. The odd guy kind of comes up and gets you through it, but that's kind of where it's at. I feel every week right now, that's changing. Like, 1 week it's Cam Ward, then it was Carson Beck. Now I heard Shedeur. Like, I think Shedeur's, like, they're all going to be first-round picks. It depends where you're going to go. But, like, I know for Tampa, like, we're not drafting a quarterback. I'm happy with Baker. He played a very good enough game yesterday with no receivers against a decent Atlanta defense. I have been worried about Baker's turnovers last 3 weeks, but I think he's just trying to do a bit too much to keep us in games. But outside of that, like, you look to get the draft a quarterback. It's probably what you guys are going to end up doing. And you're probably going to have a top 3 pick. Would you rather trade back, or do you want to take
Hell
some
yeah, man. Trade back, because like we just said, there's not a quarterback in this draft that wows me. And I mean, wows me on just the field, because we obviously know that Shedeur Sanders is going to bring prime-time energy, right? And that's something that I think that the Tennessee Titans could really use, because they just don't seem to bring that any time in the media at all. But after seeing how Chicago has been able to stockpile, revamp, get ready for the next couple of seasons here with a rookie quarterback contract, I would love to trade back.
So we talked about Chicago.
Yeah.
We're going to touch back on trading back and picks, though. But I'm going to lose my train of thought. We all know I've been hitting the head a couple times.
Yeah.
The 2 quarterbacks everybody talked about were Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. I'm a star at ruining names. That's what I do.
Shaylin.
Jalen. They played yesterday
Yep.
in a very defensive game.
Yep.
I thought we were all going to expect some fireworks, especially when Washington has scored. Out of that game, obviously we all know how it ended. We can talk about that in a minute. Do you think those 2 kids lived up to the hype?
Absolutely. And I'm not going to praise the Hail Mary as much as you guys heard me like within, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was in the last month anyway, where I talked about Aaron Rodgers' Hail Marys and how I give him no credit for that.
It's a fluke.
It is a fluke. Just like yesterday's play was an absolute fluke. It had to be just perfect that you had one of the defensive players goofing around, to then be the guy that bats the ball, like serendipitous that way.
Also, let's talk about this. Do you want to know the thing I hate? Just knock it down. Fuck that. Catch the ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why leave it a chance?
What I think is crazy too. Yeah. Let's compare it to another sport which we consider to be.
I can't say fuck in the subtitles. It puts a little asterisk around it.
That's funny. But let's compare it to a sport that we know is far less physical. But when you talk about going up and coming down for a rebound in basketball, you're aggressive. You put your arms on it, you put your body on that ball, and make sure you rip your elbows around, and that's your ball, right? Why is that not done in this? Why is it swat down or like these weird? Go up and grab it, get your body on it, man. If you're coming down with the ball, it's fumble drill.
Yeah.
Right? I don't get it.
I've never understood that. I've been coaching for almost 15 years, 20 years. And to me, it's like, if I'm putting you out there at the last play of a game because I don't want the other team to catch the ball, it's because I want the ball.
Yeah. And maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe it's Scary Terry that's in my head here, but I don't think that Washington has tower receivers.
No.
Like, I feel like they're all 6 foot, 6'1" like that, which is tall compared to me. It's a couple inches taller than me, but like in NFL standards, it's not like they're the Keon Colemans or the MVSs of the NFL, right? The tall guys. So yeah, really crazy finish. Lived up to the hype. Certainly have created a rivalry, which is great because the NFC needs a good young rivalry. Because Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts aren't doing it right now, unfortunately. But this is a good one where I think both teams are
trending in the right way.
That's right. They're going the right direction. I am on the outside looking in as a team that has never done anything bad to me. I feel so good for the Washington fans, man. Have they needed this? How long have they needed a team that is not only fun to watch, but like your kids want to watch it? It's not just you that wants to watch. Like, if you're a Washington fan right now and you got a teenage son, he's probably watching the game with you at this point, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, now it's going to give a younger a reason to cheer for Washington.
And to get a new stadium and like all the hype that's going to come with that. And also at the same token, like, how cool is it for Dan Quinn? Like the injection of youth that you've seen in him yesterday during the Hail Mary, seeing him run out on the field like that, and it seems like there's a lot of conversation about can old coaches connect with their young players, and I don't think I've heard anything bad about a player that's been under Dan Quinn in any interviews they talked about him, but you can just see it, like the players seek him out to celebrate with him.
Well, I think when it comes down to it, it's simple, right? Like, he had a rough go in Seattle when he was there. It was kind of the tail end of what Seattle was supposed to be. And then he goes to Dallas as a DC.
Well, don't forget Atlanta.
Atlanta.
We talk about a rough ending. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well,
and don't worry, Nick. We will talk about Atlanta because they're making noise too.
But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where he's going to get a little rebound. Talking about rebounds earlier, he's going to get that rebound of his career. And now he's a quarterback that he can also grow with.
Yeah.
It's tough to be a first-time head coach in the NFL and do well. Like, it's almost like your first head coaching job is an audition.
Yeah.
For your next coaching job is what it really comes down to. You're going to get fired.
Speaking of first-time coach, Brian Dabble.
You're going to get fired. You're going to go be a coordinator again, and can you bounce back?
Yeah.
What did you learn the first time? I watched that game a bunch, and both guys shined in certain areas. I'm not going to dunk on Caleb Williams. We've been mean to him all year, and I'm not trying to be mean to him.
There's no we here. They've been mean to him all year.
I've been nice about him. I'm not going to say he's a shitty quarterback, so he's not. And I've never once doubted his arm talent. He threw a ball yesterday, and I was like, whew. That was a good throw.
Mm-hmm.
If he can just learn to get it out quicker, he will be a top 5 quarterback in this league. That is a knock on him. He holds on way too long. The same thing you're saying about Shedeur Sanders and hold on to the football is how I feel about Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
If they learn to get the ball out, they're going to be very, very good football players. I think Caleb's a better athlete than Shedeur is. I'll be very honest about that. But he's not a good enough athlete in the NFL. In college, he could do those things. In the NFL, he's got to get that ball out quicker, and he's going to be really good. Because there is an arm talent there that cannot be taught.
Just because we're talking about Caleb Williams and he's really well known for the finger paint right now. The generation below us, Chad, they do it. I'm not going to bash it. I'm not going to do it, though.
I will.
I'm hanging out at home with my daughter.
I will tell you right now, if you're a grown-ass man, you paint your nails, I'm going to make fun of you.
So, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but Alabama recently lost to an orange team. And Ryan Williams was seen 2 days later rocking orange nail paint. I couldn't believe it. I was like, buddy, that's just a time and place, pal. You want to do that? That's cool, man. Maybe not the orange colors, right? Not the neon orange.
No, not the smartest thing he's probably ever done.
No, not at all. That's brutal. What do you think about the? I don't even know his name right now, but the right tackle. This is
So I thought it was Joe Alt at first, and I was like, my man. And then it's like, I go like, Joe Alt's not 76, not 75.
Yeah.
I am 100% all for that.
You're talking about the one that wants to challenge TJ Watt? Is this what you're talking about?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the guy who, on the other side of the guy in the Chargers, that fucking went after the guy in the Saints for rolling up on Justin Herbert.
On Justin Herbert, yeah, absolutely. That was a great play. I agree with defending your quarterback. Absolutely dirty play.
That was one of the dirtiest things I've ever seen.
It's especially when you talk about how easy it is to catch a penalty going low. How much are you... To me, that play right there was exactly what happened to Chris Johnson back in the playoffs against the Ravens years ago when he was buried under the pile and it was Ed Reed and Ray Lewis twisting his ankle up under there, ruining our playoffs.
All I'm saying is, like, we were talking about Bountygate back in the day, a couple, like 10, 12 years ago. This is nowhere, like, this is like the definition of a Bountygate.
And, okay, so let's just play it out and say that it happens, that there's an injury that results in it, whether it's minor or it's significant. But you stand up after tweaking his ankle and you look down at him. What is your reaction? Like, what did you win there?
Whatever.
You're not going back to your huddle and getting a slap on the ass from anybody. I don't think there's ways to do it. I mean, you talk about Bountygate, right? There was ways that they beat the hell out of Brett Favre, but it was physically hitting him. Yeah. Tweaking his ankle when he's down on the ground or on his way down to the ground.
Yeah. You want to roll up on someone's ankle, like, you are literally a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Talking about, that's happened with Chris Godwin. He got rolled up on.
With the hip drop.
Yeah. So,
now listen, do you feel it was a hip drop? Come on, coach. Don't talk to me like a Bucs fan. Do you feel it was a hip drop?
I actually didn't think the hit was that bad until I saw it in slow motion. Like, live speed, I was like, oh, he got hit.
Here's my thing with that.
I don't think the hip drop should be finable, though.
There are very, very few penalties that if you have to see it at slow motion, that I think it should be a penalty.
No. That's why I'm glad they don't challenge penalties, because that would be a joke. Just holding every fucking play.
Yeah, it should be. Well, that's just it, right? Like, if you're gonna, where are you gonna draw the line? Are you gonna start slowing it down every play and seeing if there wasn't?
Like, I didn't think it was a bad hit. They slowed down. Like, I guess I don't think the hip drops should be a fine, though. I don't. Like, if I can't run through you, I can't hit you here, I can't gator roll. What am I supposed to do?
Well, you still can hip drop. You just can't land on his legs, which means you got to know the angle or the weight that you're. Which is, I mean,
we're playing a game of
inches.
Thousands of seconds.
Yeah, inches
and millimeters
that way. That's
like,
right.
Impossible.
Yeah, and also having to assume that you know
how he's going to react,
what they're going to do. Yeah, in order for that to not happen. You're right. Yeah.
So yeah, like, to me, does it suck as my best receiver? Yeah.
Well, and like your team,
we're going down. Like, I'm sorry.
It is certainly on the other side of things.
And the only where I'm
at least my dreams were shattered week 3.
So this is where I'm at. We have 4 wins.
Yeah.
We better fucking not get to 9. Like, if we're gonna fuck this shit up, we need to fuck it up bad.
Well, what do you want? What needs to get replaced this offseason?
We need offensive line help.
Okay.
You can never have too many offensive linemen.
Sure.
We need a right tackle. We have just a
well, you're going to have to bid with us on that one, sir.
Yeah. We need a real pass rusher.
Okay.
And I would take a corner. It's a passing league now. So either Baker's our guy, our receivers are good,
yep.
Our running game's great. I need an offensive lineman. I need a tackle. Because we got Tristan Wirfs. We have 2 young guards and a really young center who are growing at the proper speed. They're trending up, I'll say. But we need one more tackle. We need a real pass rusher. We don't have one. We'll be lucky if we have a guy with 7 sacks this year. Not enough in a passing league. And we have to be better against the pass. That's where we're at. So there's 3 levels I take a guy. So if we're going to do it, I want to do it right.
9 wins will still get you all those positions, I feel.
Yeah, but why would I get 9 wins if I can get one at 5?
Yeah.
Like, there's a really good cover guy who wears black and gold right now, and he's from Florida, and he would look really good in a Buccaneers uniform.
Black and gold.
Travis Hunter, baby.
Oh, God. You're not taking that gadget player.
He will 100% be a corner. He's not going to be a receiver in the NFL. I don't think.
No.
He will
he's
be
not.
a corner.
Yeah.
And if I'm telling you, if he's sitting around 7 or 8, he will look really good in pewter.
I don't even know if. Listen. No. You know what? It's not a bold take. It's people are just going to think I'm just hot taking it. I just don't think that Travis Hunter. He's not going to. I just don't see him having a rookie season that matches Sauce Gardner. I don't see him having.
He's a different kind of player than Sauce Gardner was.
I agree. I think that this is a guy that is going to be. He's not an outside corner to me in the NFL.
You don't have to be an outside corner anymore, though. You can be a really good nickel corner and make a lot of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure that we know this guy is not a outside coverage.
No, he's going to be a nickel corner and he's going to make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
But to me, honestly, I actually believe that no matter where you line up on the field now as a corner, if you're the best one there, you put your best guy there. It's that simple. The passing game isn't always an outside guy anymore.
Oh no.
Like, we're bringing in number one receivers inside the box now.
Yeah, but when you are the outside corner, you are covering the most yardage. There's no doubts about it. And 9 times out of 10, you're covering the most physical receiver on the field, right?
I'm not going to argue on that. I'm just saying we have big corners on the outside. I'll take a nice small guy who can play inside.
Yeah. There's also a pretty good corner coming out of Michigan.
Yeah, I'll never fucking draft one of them.
I know you'll never cheer for him, but you got to know that's a good corner.
I ain't taking him.
He's looking pretty tight.
Yeah. You know how I feel about that.
So, speaking of you knowing or us knowing how each other feel about things, you know I love to harp on the Colts, right?
Yeah.
I love to harp on the Colts, especially when they take a divisional loss in a close game, just having their hearts ripped out against Houston, right? But then you got Anthony Richardson, who, first time I've ever seen it, quarterback subs himself out of the game because he was winded. He needed to take a few plays off.
He wrecked it, the receivers.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy.
Bro, get on the treadmill.
You're in a division game. You've had time off with injury, so your body's not as beat up as everybody else is. Your whole shtick, your whole aura is that you're this mobile quarterback that can take a hit.
Specimen.
You're a specimen that can take a hit and can throw a ball a mile down the field, and you take yourself out in the red zone. To put Joe Flacco's no slouch as a backup quarterback, but like divisional game, bro. What the hell is going on?
I don't think it matters what fucking game it is.
Yeah,
if my quarterback took himself out, he probably would never see the field again.
Well, Shane Steichen, or whatever you say his name is, the coach for the Colts, he says today that the position is being reevaluated.
You don't say.
Your first round was a 3rd or 4th overall pick is being evaluated after taking himself out of a game where, again, I've made fun of this man a lot of times. He's never played a complete season. If he was to have played a complete season this year, it would have been double the amount of games he's ever played in his entire life in a year. So, unbelievable. I love watching him burn over there in Indianapolis.
I don't want to sit here and I want every football player and quarterback to succeed. But
well, we can agree that the Colts suck.
Yeah. As I said, if you take yourself out, you ain't getting back in.
No.
And you have a veteran backup who's not a bum. Let's call it as it is. The Colts aren't going to win 11 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
I would have no problem running with Joe Flacco the rest of the year. And if my quarterback wants to cry about it, you did this to yourself. If Jim Irsay wants to come down on me for it, let him. Because I'm going to walk into the next office, and they're going to say, well, you got fired in Indianapolis. You'll be like, well, I didn't draft my quarterback.
Yeah. And
the whole league would be like, well, no, you have a quarterback who doesn't want to play football.
There was also a stat. I was just trying to find it there because I wanted to get it right before I say it. But it was I know it was 44% anyway, is what his completion percentage. But it was a certain amount of quarterbacks that had thrown to start their career or whatever, and he was like, it was brutal. Anyway, it's fun to watch him to burn. As I mentioned, another team that seems to be burning, Dallas.
It's great.
Bro. Their rushing game is absolutely gone. 56 yards, I think they finished with last night, which was the same as was it Purdy that had 56 yards too, or something like that?
All I know, there's nothing that makes me happier than watching a Dallas team just suffer.
Well, I do. I do like that too. It's crazy how they're the most popular team, but they're also the most hated team at the same time. But how much longer does Jerry Jones look in the mirror and say that he's doing the right thing by his team?
It's like the classic meme where it's like, you're not the problem. You tell this is the issue. It's like, man, like you are the issue.
It's not even.
But no, it's just you're keeping a coach around who's not winning. That's what the problem is. They haven't drafted bad. That's called like they've drafted well. They've brought players in that are good. Your coach can't win. You have a coach that cannot win.
No.
And like, so what is other? You're holding something over him that is not allowing him to do his job. So if that's the case, that's on you. But you've given him all the talent to win a football game.
Sorry, I did find it finally. Since 44%. So the only other quarterbacks that were this bad as well was Achilles Smith in 2013, Josh Freeman in 2002. 2000 Achilles Smith, 2013 Josh Freeman.
Achilles Smith was still playing football in 2013.
And 2002 Mike McMahon. Now, okay, so I don't know how much of this actually goes into it. I'm sure it does during contract negotiations. But if Jerry stepped aside and it was his son's face, do the players play harder for the son?
No.
Doesn't matter. The check is the check.
Yeah, you get paid, baby.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, all I know is that he has to look at the mirror and figure out if it's him or if it's his coach. And we all know Jerry ain't going to say it's him. Well, then you have to walk away from Mike McCarthy. You need to fire him. Because there is way too much talent on that team to not win football games.
Well, I mean, if you lose Mike McCarthy, you likely lose Mike Zimmer, who's probably the only reason that defense is doing as well as it has been this season because, I don't know, Trayvon, he had a couple of knucklehead plays yesterday, too.
But you got to remember, too, like, so you lose your coach, you lose your defensive coordinator, cool. You're probably going to rebuild anyways. I know Jerry doesn't ever want to hear those
But there's
words.
a team that just lost that offensive coordinator that was supposed to be the heir apparent, you know what I'm talking the guy who was...
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah. So you let him walk. Now you're going to fire Mike McCarthy, who's your offensive coordinator and head coach, and then you're going to fire, well, not fire, but lose likely Mike Zimmer unless the person who comes in decides to retain him, which could happen. I mean, you might want to go in an offensive direction head coach next time anyway.
But yeah, no, I think it's one of those things where you just got to walk away. Like, you got to cut your losses. You have a very expensive quarterback. You have a very expensive number one receiver. Your offensive line is getting old. You have zero run game. You brought back Zeke because he was the only option available.
Yeah.
Like Zeke was slow when he was 25. You brought him back at 30.
And he has an ugly number.
21?
15 he wears now.
Oh, he wears his college number.
Ugly, bro.
Okay. We had this conversation long time ago, and I was like, if you're a D lineman and you wear a single digit, like, you better be a fucking stud.
Yeah.
If you're a running back and you're wearing 15, you better be like, I'm talking Ohio State Zeke. You can't be out of shape and fat Zeke.
I agree.
If you're going to wear a number outside of the code, you have to be the guy.
I absolutely hate the Titans' offensive lineman numbers. Like J.C. Latham is left tackle wearing number 55. Ugh.
Do you want to know what number actually really upsets me? When I see a grown-up wearing 69 as an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, like, you're actually a loser.
Yeah.
I can't take you serious. You could be an all-pro, and I'm like, you're still a loser. Like, you're a grown man wearing 69.
I think Sebastian Joseph Day wears that for the Titans, I think.
So I was at the Argos and Red Blacks game 2 weekends ago. My wife got me tickets for my birthday. And we're walking out of the stadium, and there was a fan wearing a Toronto Argos with his own name on the jersey. Already very
Wait, he was older
humiliating.
than 10? You're not allowed to do that.
And he was also wearing number 69 on the jersey.
Oh, God.
So,
And he
like,
was older than 10?
So right away, I was like, I'm Googling to see if this guy's actually plays on the Argos. Because, like, we were in the family section. Fan of our show, Jacob Ruby got his tickets. Plays for the Red Blacks, got his tickets for the game.
That's cool.
So big shout out to Jacob. Thank you for those tickets. So yeah, it's a lot of fans. And there was a guy wearing a Toronto Argos jersey, number 69, with his own name on the jersey. And all I kept thinking was,
Bought it at the flea market down the road.
I don't want to see that guy's Google search history because it's probably not okay. Because it's a special person who would do that.
Get a custom jersey with your name on in the first place.
Yeah. And you know he thought he was the funniest guy in the room when he got that jersey made.
Oh, yeah.
If there was one jersey that should be banned in every locker room, it's that one. And I will
Yeah.
bang the table for that. That and 0. Not a big fan of the number 0 on a jersey.
Coming up to the end here.
That's what the clock was. I was trying to figure that out.
So, Devontae Adams has not fared very well in his couple of games there as far as PFF goes, standards go.
Yep.
He wants a new contract extension.
Ew.
This is not because he doesn't have a lot of money on paper still. It's because he doesn't have a lot of guaranteed money, right?
Yeah.
How do the Jets navigate this one?
Well, this is what it comes down to. They're going to do it because Aaron Rodgers is going to tell them to do it. Let's just call a spade a spade. And Woody Johnson doesn't have a choice because he invested so much into Aaron Rodgers. And I don't mean financially, I just mean in general. You haven't won a game since you fired your coach.
Yeah. And the worst part
And
is
your
that
defense is playing worse.
is playing worse. You fired your defensive coach, and now your defense is playing worse. So clearly, the defensive coach that took over
And your offense isn't doing much better.
is not doing much better. But the defensive coach is definitely not keeping the helm next season. There's no doubt about that.
So to me, it's like Woody Johnson's already kind of made his bet. Like he has to do it. So the real question is, you actually have a real number one receiver there in Garrett.
Wilson, yeah.
I would say you have a real one. Mm-hmm. You can't pay him and Devontae. Garrett Wilson's going to want to get paid.
Garrett Wilson and his Fanatics jersey arms.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I hate those jersey sleeves like that. Ugly. It's like him and Aaron Rodgers got the same jerseys on.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So you got to pay one of them. There's no way you're paying Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, and Devontae Adams.
And on the other side of the ball, Sauce Gardner's going to get paid.
Yeah, because so yeah, they got drafted the same year.
Yeah.
And I know the salary cap's a myth. They always figure out a way to make it work. But I don't know how you, like, those 5 guys are taking up 80% of that payroll.
Yeah. This is when Hassan Reddick held out, right? So he's probably not coming back next season anyway.
He's back now, but he's not.
Which, I do want to touch quickly on that. Bitch move by Hassan Reddick, I think, is that you come back and you want to say, no comment on the holdout. I'm here to get down to business and get down to work. No. You held out for 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Own up to what the hell happened. You fired your agent during that time frame and hired Drew Rosenhaus. Either you or Drew, somebody put out a real frickin' statement.
Now, there's a question on a statement. Do you think he had an injury he didn't want to disclose? Because that's what I think.
I don't know.
I'm wondering if he got injured doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. It just seems too, no, I'm not playing. And now I'm good and I want to get down to business. It's like, first off, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like you owe your teammates.
Yeah.
You owe the fans an explanation.
This is a team that sucks right now.
Yeah, and now you're gonna come back. It's like you can't, it's not like you're on the Chiefs, not like you're winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at least I'm like, well, I get it. You came back to a losing team who's not even trending in the right direction.
No.
But so either you're broke, and now you want to get paid again. But I personally think he got injured doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, because that isn't in contracts. So instead of just owning up to it, he's saying, "I don't want to play for you."
Stupid.
Like, but you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Just because we're running like short on top here, I still want to talk because We talked about quarterbacks wrapped up in money and monetary value and everything, and making your bed and having to lay in it. Cleveland Browns. The fucking Cleveland Browns, after trading away Amari Cooper, probably had the best offensive output that they've had from a quarterback since Baker's early years. Over 300 yards. What do you have, like 7 or 6 incompletions or something like that? Ridiculous. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Clearly, it only took until Monday afternoon for Stefanski to come out and say that Jameis is the starter. Woo, you don't say. But where do they go from here? Like, you can't move on.
Like, Shane said it best last week. He was like, they didn't start Jameis for a reason because they knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't like Jameis. I never lied about that. I don't hide it. But he's their best option.
He's a lot of teams' best option.
Yeah.
Between him, who they may have to let out of the building because they can't afford to keep him with the way their contracts. I know they traded him, so they got some money, but
he would be the best quarterback in New Orleans right now.
He just came from there.
That's what I mean.
But not even just like you got Malik Willis, who's slowly playing himself into an opportunity of being a starter.
So
somewhere.
happy for that kid.
I bet you are. Burning fucking. I can't believe you're happy for that kid. You didn't cheer him on in Tennessee one damn time, even when he got drafted.
Hey, I'm a changed man. I'm
You
looking for
wanted
everybody
nothing
to
good
get better
from
in
him.
their life.
He's in the NFC now. Why would you cheer that on?
Because he's probably going to go back to the AFC, so it'll be okay.
Noise against you. But yeah, with Cleveland, I think here's what I think is going to end up happening. Nothing big will happen in Cleveland in the sense that this was a one-off game. They're going to have some fun. They're going to air the ball out because that's what Winston does.
Well, like Jameis Winston's a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you can't rely on him to win you a game
No.
because he might lose you one. But
And
it's going to be fun as fucking hell to watch as you're a Cleveland Browns fan.
And Cleveland, the fans just need 2 games this season to be able to say it was a Browns season that they were able to cheer on, and they got their one. So
And they beat a divisional team, too.
yeah.
Like, that game was significantly a bigger loss to the Ravens than it was a win for the Browns.
It cut deep for sure. Any other games from the weekend that you want to touch on? Any other topics?
I really want to know what you think about the 49ers. We got like 5 minutes left, then we got to shut this bitch down. They have no weapons left,
Yeah.
and they put up 30 points. I know the Dallas Cowboys aren't that good of a team right now,
Yeah.
but scoring 30 points in the NFL is not easy. I don't care who you're playing.
Okay.
Is this going to be the moment that Brock Purdy steps up to say, hey, I am the guy?
No. I've been bought into this guy forever. How many quarterbacks have to go through Shanahan's system for us all to realize that it's a Shanahan quarterback?
But all I'm saying is he going to be good enough for that system? Because hear me out. You have no CMC, and I'm not vouching for him. I'm just asking you a question. No Debo, no Ayuk. You only have George Kittle.
Yeah.
And he came out and had a decent football game, and they won.
Okay, but like looking at his numbers right now, Kittle did everything for him, and Debo did play, right? Yeah, so yeah, for 71 yards. I don't know. Kittle goes off one time. Who's tight end? We already know is every quarterback's best friend. And again, just Shanahan's offense.
I'm fully aware it's Mike Shanahan's. But so what is the number that you're willing to pay Brock Purdy? Because starting quarterbacks just don't come and go. Like, you understand what I'm trying to say here.
What did Baker just get paid?
Baker took a very friendly deal.
What did Baker just get paid?
35.
What did Geno Smith get paid?
I don't know that number.
Because I think that's fair to fall in line with Geno Smith.
Baker got 3 for 100, guaranteed.
See, Geno's isn't going to be. Yeah, his was 3 years, 75.
Yeah, Baker got 3 for 100, guaranteed.
And because Brock is younger, I think he'll get that 4th year. But I still think that that's a fair number for Brock Purdy.
Like, I think 35 is the right number for him.
In what world is Brock Purdy worth 35? You're like the kind of guy who's like, oh, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, totally worth what he got paid right now.
No, but hear me out. Trevor Lawrence made the money because they had no other choice.
So what do the Niners got right now? They're paying Brock Purdy $35 million. Sounds to me like they don't have any other choice.
There's a difference. You know what the difference is?
They could pay Jameis Winston $15 million and do what they're doing right now.
Jameis Winston would not play in that system.
No.
He is way too reckless.
Yeah,
he does
yeah.
not check down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Malik.
Brock knows what's there in front of him. Hopefully. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe he's like, fuck you, pay me 60. And then they won't let him walk. Mm-hmm. But if they can agree on that 35 to 40 range.
This is me eye rolling and shaking my head over here.
But you know that's a starting quarterback number.
No, I still think that the contracts
if he
like
asks
people
for
like
50,
Trevor, but
he's not going to get it.
the contracts like Trevor Lawrence, I think, are the ones that are the notable ones that owners and GMs are going to take note of. When you look at the money that they put into Trevor Lawrence and the output that they got out of this season versus Baker fucking Mayfield and the output they got out of that this season, I think that there is going to be a tipping point here where people begin to realize, yes, you can get a young quarterback and pay him a lot.
I do believe the way the young quarterbacks is how it's going to go. I think we're going to start seeing quarterbacks being recycled every 5 years. I do believe that. Because if you're not a top 10 quarterback in this league, you're still going to want top 10 money. And that's what it comes down to. Am I wrong? Mm-hmm. But if most quarterbacks are drafted in the first round, we will say that. You got your 5 years. And if you are not a top-tier quarterback in this league, I think you will be recycled. For the exact reason you're saying is teams are seeing, we can't pay you X and win. There's a very few guys you can pay X. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes, he's playing like dog shit right now. But at the end of the day, I'd take him for the $60 million because you know you can do enough to win.
Yeah.
There's very few quarterbacks who are worth that X number. And I think owners, I think you are right. They're going to see this. And I think quarterbacks are going to start getting recycled every 5 years. Because Joe Burrow, not playing great. Justin Herbert, not doing anything special. Trevor Lawrence, not looking good.
And
Danny
Joe
Dimes,
Burrow's
not looking good. But like, these are all these guys who got paid.
And he's not looking good, and they're staring down the barrel of having to pay Jamar Chase and basically knowing that they're going to have to let T. Higgins walk likely too, where they're going to have, what's that, 75 to $90 million wrapped up in 3 players.
Kind of like we said about the other teams, right?
There ain't no way Mike Brown is doing that.
No.
This is a team that they have to walk across the street to go to the practice facility still, so that's not happening.
But yeah, we got a kickoff coming soon.
Week.
We got to get out of here. Got to say thank you to all of our sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't be here. Thank you for Kellogg's for giving us this pretty badass set. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. I won't be here next week, so you and Shane holding it down.
Hold faithful.
Yeah, okay. Well, relax. I've seen him miss a couple days. Next 2 weeks, I will not be here, so everybody out there gets to listen to you guys talk. A whole lot of Steelers and Titans fight each other.
Little AFC North rivalry.
But until next time, guys.
Yep.
Cheers.